For the love of my Biafra, ooh. For the love of our kingdom, ooh. For the love of our holy land, ooh. For the love of my country. I really wanna wake up from this nightmare. Let my call Nigeria. Can't nobody take away what we got going on. For the love of my country, I traveled everywhere on the face of this earth. There's no place like home. Ooh. Touch me, shake me, wake me up. Love me, hate me, do what you gotta do. I really wanna wake up from this nightmare. Let my call Nigeria. Can't nobody take away what we got going on. For the love of our country, I traveled everywhere on the face of this earth. There's no place like home. Ooh. Ooh. For the love of mankind, ooh. For the love of freedom, ooh. For the love of Chukwu, ooh. For the love of my country, I really wanna wake up from this nightmare. Let my call Nigeria. Can't nobody take away what we got going on. For the love of our country, I traveled everywhere on the face of this earth. There's no place like home. Ooh. For the love of my home. Britain came like a thief in the night, like a thief in the night. Nigeria came like a thief in the night, like a thief in the night. The Bojos came like thieves in the night. Murderous monsters came like a thief, to kill and steal and to keep us down. Kill baby, Biafra oil. Biafra oil made the world go round. Makes me wonder what the hell is going on. Why are they killing our people for our oil? Nigeria killing Biafrans for their land. First it was oil, now it's cow colony. Mietiala, another terror group. Fulani henchmen killing everywhere. Boko Haram too, it's all about the killing. 18 terror come from the north. Nigeria army never for the war. Killing Biafrans is all they're ever known for. Killing Biafrans is all they're ever known for. Unarmed civilians ain't safe around them. The war looked the other way like it was nothing. United Nations very hypocritical. They ain't saying shit, they are partners in crime. We trust in God so we still see the light. Hey, they are walking my Biafra spirit. Loved and blessed by God Almighty. Nothing can stop Biafra from coming. Not even Britain killing our people. Murdering Biafrans in bloody cold blood. Britain, go back to where you came from. Man, please don't do what you did on the land. We are freedom bound, land of milk and honey. Can't nobody take away God from us. Like a thief in the night. Ooh. Odime Bojubu. Ooh. Nandi Kanu. Ooh. For the love of Ikenga. Ooh. For the love of our spirit, I really wanna wake up from this nightmare. Then my call Nigeria. Can't nobody take away what we got going on. For the love of our country, I traveled everywhere on the face of this earth. There's no place like home. Ooh. We are never giving up on our country, Biafra, for no fear of violence, death, war, Britain, House of Fulanese or their terror groups. That will not happen, it's never gonna happen. For Biafra is life and freedom herself. On Biafra we stand, we're out of here.
You are now rocking with a king. For the love of my country, Biafra featuring
DJ Whiskey.
Real fans. Holy. Ooh. For the love of my Biafra. Ooh. For the love of our kingdom. Ooh. For the love of our holy land, ooh. For the love of my country, I really wanna wake up from this nightmare. Them a call Nigeria. Can nobody take away what we got going on for the love of our country. I traveled everywhere on the face of this earth. There's no place like home. Ooh. Touch me, shake me, wake me up. Love me, hate me, do what you gotta do. I really wanna wake up from this nightmare. Them a call Nigeria. Can nobody take away.
This is Biafra Television, exposing the lies. This is Biafra Television, exposing the lies. This is Biafra Television.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Biafrans, friends to Biafrans and lovers of freedom all over the world. Welcome to Sunrise Daily News Analysis on Biafra Television, a program that has been designed to educate you and enlighten you about the happenings. A program where we analyze news in details. We'll give it to you the way it is, a raw fact. Because we are the indigenous people of Biafra, we are whiter than white and whiter than snow. So we are here to expose all the evil going on in the contraption, all the evil going on in Biafra land, the evil being meted on Biafrans. Lots of things are going on, and of course they try to hypnotize the people, they manipulate all manner of lies, and just like we always tell you, Nigeria is a theater of absurd, and on this platform we keep exposing them. So it's very, very important to expose them because we will ensure that the contraption is is destroyed, so that the land of the rising sun will rise, so the indigenous people will rise and take their place. We are the indigenous people of Biafra, led by Kanu'nigeria and deputized by Mefo. We are here with that mandate, as I've said earlier, and nothing can stop us. This morning we are reaching you from Biafra land. My name is Ngozi Chukwuka, and I have with me in the studio this morning
Bright Oriako.
Master Bright, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Of course, Master Bright Oriako will be educating us today. He will be analyzing what we have here this morning. We have something very important to discuss. Of course, as we keep talking about the man in Asarok, we keep exposing the man in Asarok. There are still a lot of things happening around him or around them there in Asarok and in the contraption at large. So today we are going to be looking at him. Please don't forget that our leader will be broadcasting today 6 p.m. Biafra time. He will be broadcasting, and as usual you have to tune into your radio. You have to use the app, Radio Biafra app, to join in this program. It's very important so that we continue unmasking the man in Asarok. Alright, we have ensured we reach you through every means possible. That's why we are on our satellite TV, we are on Facebook, we are on Periscope, we are on Twitter and YouTube. And of course, we are transmitting simultaneously on Radio Biafra London for those who have no access to the internet. For those who do not have the satellite TV, you can listen to us via the radio Biafra London. So this morning, I wanted to share this program wherever you are. If you're on Facebook, if you're watching us on Facebook, please share this program, share to your friends, share also in every group you find yourself. Share on your timeline and make it visible for public, so that the public can view it as well, because we want to ensure we disseminate this gospel to the ends of the earth. You can also copy the link and share through WhatsApp. Your friends can watch with you via WhatsApp. It's very, very important, very, very important, so the world will know the truth. The world will know what is going on, and of course at the end Biafra will be restored. Once again, you're welcome to Sunrise Daily News Analysis. I hope you've invited your friends to join you. It's important because information is the key. Without information, there will be deformation. So please ensure you help others, you help yourself by sharing this information. Okay, of course, this morning we are going to be talking about something very important, while we keep on masking the man in Saraki. Of course, we keep looking at the circumstances surrounding his stay there in Saraki. And one of the headlines we're going to be discussing this morning is coming from Saraki, who said Buhari will not participate in the elections. Buhari will not attend 2019 presidential debate. 2019 presidential debate. And I have to read through what we have here. Senate President BUKOLA Saraki has predicted that President Muhammadu Buhari will not attend the presidential debate billed to hold on January 19, 2019. The President of the Senate said this in Abuja on Thursday, where the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, was billed to address some civil society organizations. According to Saraki, any president seeking to lead the country should be able to come forward and tell the people what he wants to do for them. He said, "I'm told that one has debated and you already know the answer to that debate. On the second one, I'm very sure he is not going to debate. So how do you assess somebody who is not ready to tell you what he is going to do? Those days are gone, my good people. The future of this country, a country that leads the continent, that is not the example we want to set for this continent. The whole world is going in a direction. If you are seeking a position, you must come and tell people what you want to do. You must sit down and they will ask you questions, and that is why we are here. Today is your day. We will sit down and take questions. I hope at the end of this exercise you will stand up and say, yes, this is the team that will secure Nigeria. This is the team that will unite Nigeria. This is the team that will fight the poverty in town and bring a bright future." Okay, so what makes you think Saraki has, do you think his prediction would work?
Yes, he's coming again like the Galadima, and he's speaking in absolute terms. He's sure that the man in Saraki is not going to attend the presidential debate, and he's saying it in clear terms, that he is saying it absolutely, that the man in Saraki, because that same man that came to the National Assembly, that he saw the ear very well, the ear lobes, and of course he has confirmed that the man in Saraki is not Buhari. That's why he's having the confidence, because the former Buhari attended the presidential debate, and of course before he became president 2015,
yeah,
he attended presidential debate. So this one in Saraki, he knows it's not Buhari, and because of the evidences, overwhelming evidences before him, he is not going to make that mistake of coming to the public, because he's going to simply expose to the world that he is not Buhari. So for that reason, Saraki is sure, confident that this man in Saraki, there is no way on earth that he's going to attend a presidential debate, because he is not Buhari. So you see, it's another absolute word that he's using, just like the way Galadima said it yesterday, because we talked about Galadima yesterday coming out to speak in absolute term. And of course, Saraki, when you're talking about Saraki, you should understand that you're talking about the Senate president who knows better, who knows so many things. Those who, you know, when we are talking about yesterday, we also talked about Galadima, a friend of Buhari and a political ally who have known him over a long period of time. This one we are talking about also, the Senate president. This is the somebody who is supposed to be the third man in government also, because as the Senate president, he can even represent the presidency, he can represent the entire country, and of course take decisions on behalf of the country. So he knows what he's talking about. So he knows that the man in Saraki is not Buhari, and because it's not Buhari, there is no way on earth he's going to attend that presidential debate. So he is speaking in absolute terms, because he is very, very sure that the man in Saraki is not Buhari.
Okay, now he is very sure the man in Saraki is not Buhari, and as the Senate President, is that all he could do? Telling the world that, predicting that President Buhari, Jibril, the man in Saraki, won't be attending the presidential debate?
Yes, if you look at the way he has spoken, you know actually why Africa is a shithole. You understand? Because when you are looking at it, see, he said something very, very clear. He said that Nigeria is the face of Africa, and that is one thing that baffles me. Because when President Trump said Africa is a shithole, and people were like running helter-skelter, saying a lot of nonsense. But the truth about it is that when what is happening in Nigeria is really rubbing in nonsense on the whole Africa, because what you see that is happening in Saraki is affecting the whole of Africa. It's not just Nigeria, because you see, Nigeria, out of every 3 individuals you see in the world that is from this continent, one of them is from the evil contraction called Nigeria. And you remember that is what the British government wanted to do. They wanted to have a giant of Africa. They wanted to have a country that could actually represent Africa, that could be the face of Africa, and they ended up producing a shithole. And that is why you see, when you see Saraki narrating, he's saying that yes, Nigeria was supposed to be at the forefront in Africa. Nigeria was supposed to be, but Nigeria is a shithole. That is it. So when President Trump called Africa a shithole, he wasn't actually talking about entire Africa, because there are some countries that actually are doing well in Africa, but it is Nigeria, because when you have 1/3 of Africa coming from Nigeria, that tells you that Nigeria as a shithole means that Africa is a shithole. So we are talking about the evil colonization that took place. Yes, colonization actually took place, and the British government established this evil they called Nigeria. But we look at it also. Why would Saraki be talking like that? Because you see, we have always cried out, and our leader keeps telling us that something is wrong with the black man. Yes, the Europeans have done so much wrong to us, but we have done ourselves worse evil than they did to us. Because if there is an evil going on, and you know that when you're talking about democracy is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. The people must be able to stand up and take the government. That is what makes democracy work. If you watch any country in the world that have sustainable democracy, it was because there was a point in time when the people rose, there was a revolution. You go watch Europe, watch America, watch France. These are countries, clear countries that practice democracy. Watch the United States of America, there was revolution there. Watch France, there was revolution there. So why is it that there cannot be revolution in Africa? That is it. So you see Saraki talking helpless because he is part of the shithole. We are living in a shithole country. That is it, because Nigeria is a shithole, Africa is a shithole. We have done ourselves worse evil. You don't blame of course, in the past we used to blame the British, we used to blame the Europeans for colonizing us. Enough of those blame, because we are living in a situation where we have all the chances to redeem the next generation. We are not able to do that. You don't blame the Europeans because they are looking for their daily bread, and of course because they are looking for their daily bread, they are doing their business, they come to your territory and they see you are sleeping, and of course they look at you and say you are the glittering eyes and the shiny teeth, and you just lived up to it. What is the evidence? Of course, President Trump looked at it and said, are these people really human? Are they really, there was nothing else, because the only thing you can see coming out of the evil contraction was rotten things. And of course, rotten to the point that the only word that was suitable for it was a shithole. That is how serious it is. And in clear example, if it is not a shithole, why is it that there is an impostor in Saraki and he has stayed there 2 solid years? And not only him, he came with some mercenaries, and that is why you go to your street, you see strange faces. You go to everywhere, you see strange faces, foreigners who have come to take over your land, and before our very eyes we are crying there is no food, we are crying we want a better future, and people are sitting and watching this evil. We, the indigenous people of Biafra, and that is why today they cannot take they cannot just understand, because you see Saraki, why is he speaking so? They want one Nigeria, and of course we, the indigenous people of Biafra, have said we want freedom, we want a change, we want to make a difference, that we cannot associate ourselves with this shithole, with this evil, because we cannot be part of the evil, and that is why anybody who is not speaking up against the evil is part of the evil. So when you look at Saraki, he's speaking because he is part of the shithole country they call Nigeria. He's fighting for one Nigeria. Anybody fighting for one Nigeria is part of the shithole. It's part of the problem. It's one of the glittering eyes, because it's happening there before your very eyes, and he's just simple a glittering eyes and a shiny teeth, and that is what you see him coming out to tell you, that there is nothing he can do. The man cannot attend the debate, and as the Senate president, he's simply coming out and raising his hand.
But as a Senate president, what do you have him do? What do you think he should do?
You see, revolution must start somewhere.
Okay.
Revolution must start somewhere. You know, you see, he must be at the forefront and face the man in Asoro to conduct a DNA test. Somebody has to be responsible for that. As the Senate president, if he doesn't do that, who will? He is the one who is supposed to be at the front and confront the man in Asoro. They should summon the man in Asoro and subject him to a DNA test. If the Senate president is not able to do that, who on earth do we expect to do that? So Saraki shouldn't just come out to explain. He should take responsibility. He should be man enough. Of course, Osibajo failed. Osibajo is already a failure, because he was the one that was by now would have been a president. But of course, he failed. And like every other Yoruba, what about Saraki too? So we are talking about people who were supposed to be responsible. He was supposed to, as the Senate president, of course, use his position, use the position that the people have, of course, placed him to, and summon the man in Asorok, summon that evil thing in Asorok, use his position, influence his followers, and of course, summon this man to DNA test, and of course, let him invite the international community. He should sit up and take responsibility, not sitting there and explaining to us as if we sent him there to explain. We sent them there because there's need for action for a situation like this. Maybe it was for a time like this that he became the Senate president, but he's not taking action, he's not taking responsibility. None of them, including Osibajo, including all the elected individuals there in Asorok, none of them are able to stand up and take responsibility. They are simply sitting and trying to explain, and we are tired of the explanation, because the impostor in Asorok is not Buhari. So why should you come out to explain? Why should you tell us what
okay, so now you said someone has to take responsibility and the revolution must have to start somewhere, and now the ones there at the legislature are failing. None of them is coming up with anything tangible. None of them is standing up bold enough to speak. So where else do you think the revolution should come from?
It has to go step backwards, because it's from the front, it's moving backwards. The people have to stand up. Because if the person you sent have gone and deliver, of course, there's in my place there's a saying that a messenger does not use proverb. When you send somebody on an errand, you don't go there and start using proverbs. You go there and deliver the right message. And you have sent somebody to do something and the person didn't do it right. You have to go yourself sometimes. So the situation here is that if those that are there in Asorok today and of course in Abuja are those we are sent to Abuja and they are not doing duty for us, we have to take responsibility. That is what it is. So all the people that voted them, all the people that supported them, all the people that praised them, like Galadima was saying yesterday, that he is sorry for being part of the system that brought in this evil thing. Of course, he came openly and he has told the people that sent him that, see, I'm sorry, there was an evil that took place, and he was part of it. So he came yesterday and he saw the deep breath he took before he started explaining. So you see, the people that actually sent these few individuals to us should take responsibility. Of course, this December you see them going home to share bags of rice. They should be able to reject those bags of rice, and of course they should be able to use some clear language to explain to them that you have not given us what we want. You have to get out of the way. You have to reject them openly. And of course, there should be something that should go beyond, because you see, like if every indigenous community are standing up and saying something, you would hear it. The whole 200 million people are just sitting back and they are comfortable, waiting for these ones in Asorok that have looted enough money to bring 2 bags of rice, to bring 2 bags of yam, to bring tomato, and 2,000 naira. You know, at the end of the day, sometimes they even put 1,000 or some pieces of wrapper, and that is it. So you see, the evil that have continued is because those at the forefront are doing a lot of evil. They are part of the evil, and you that is sitting back there, when they bring the corrupt money, when they bring the blood money, you still accept it. You accept the bag of rice, you accept some 2 bags of yam, and you think that life is going to be better. You are selling the future of your generation. So after those that are in Asorok, when they get home, back home, the people at home should be able to fire back at them. And of course, a revolution, if it doesn't start from the front, let it start from the back. And that is why you see the indigenous people of Biafra standing up and saying no to the evil in Asorok.
Well, thank you very much. The indigenous people of Biafra, we are standing tall to say no to the evil in Biafra, in Asarok. In case you're just joining us, this is Sunrise Daily News Analysis on Biafra Television, and we are reaching you from Biafra Land this morning. We are transmitting simultaneously on Radio Biafra London. My name is Ngozi Chukwuka. I have Mazi Bright Oriako with me this morning, analyzing what we have here from the Nigerian dailies. We have a lot of things here to discuss, and of course we are looking at BUKOLA Saraki, the Senate President, telling the world that the man in Asarok is not going to attend the 2019 presidential debate. And you ask, is that all he could do? Is that all that he can? Is that all the legislator have to tell the world? Why would they tell? He never mentioned why he thinks the president will not attend the debate. I think he need to be questioned.
Yes, they are simply playing with serious issues. They are playing with life issues. They are playing with the life of 200 million people, and they are without conscience. You see deadly politicians, and that is why they tell you that politics is a dirty game. So dirty that 200 million people, their life is at stake, and they put it on the line, and they sit there and all they think, I don't know, maybe they thought that they were simply elected to go there and enjoy the AC in Asarok, enjoy the beautiful houses and that have been built with the money that was supposed to be used to take care of these millions of people. That the whole resources that was stolen have been used to put those things together, and they are taxpayers' money, they are the people's money that have been used to put those things in place, and of course they enjoy all the allowances. Maybe they thought that all they are there supposed to be doing is just to go there and take of course they talk about sharing the national cake all the time. So that is why you see, when they get there, they don't actually think they owe you a duty because you don't demand it. Sometimes why we suffer and continue to suffer is because people don't demand their rights. If you don't demand your rights, that is it. Nobody cares about it, because if what is happening is just because Saraki is not, nobody has actually taken a step to push these people to give account of what is happening. When politicians are not meant to be to account for what their activities, they account for their position, account for the duties they are supposed to do for the people, they can actually live the way they are living. They feel that it is their right to just go to Asarok, enjoy the mansions there, enjoy all the best life could offer, and of course just stay there after 4 years, and they still come back to you, and of course with 2 bags of rice. That is it, 2 bags of rice for a whole community. Maybe if they are so gracious, they would bring 1 trailer, of course, out of the millions and billions they have looted. They will bring it with some pieces of wrapper, and they tell you they are helping the widow. They will look for 1 widow, 1 wretched woman, and of course with a lot of children. They will give them maybe 10,000 naira, and that is it. They will clap for you that this man is a good man, whereas he has stolen billions from your wealth. He has stolen the billions you were supposed to use to be taken care of, that were supposed to be used for infrastructure. They have shared it in Asarok, and they say they are sharing the national cake. And of course, to get connected to the senior president, it becomes a privilege. You have been trampled upon, your rights have been trampled upon, and nobody is holding these people. Nobody held them responsible for trampling upon your rights, and that is why they are comfortable. So until the common man, until the indigenous people start taking responsibility, because they feel they are just sitting there and enjoying it, because they feel it is their right. That once in Nigeria, of course, you know that they are not voted for, they are selected, and they position themselves just like they have selected themselves also for 2019. Because when you're looking at 2019, it's about PDP selection and APC selection. What else do you have if not what you have been getting? Of course, you have some people, they say, yes, we have a better team. That is what PDP is only trying to tell you. That see, we have a better team to continue running the shithole country, because no matter how you select the team that is running the 2019, it is still a shithole country. It is still the false entity called Nigeria. It's still the evil thing that is going to continue. And of course, APC, we know that today APC is foreign APC. You have mercenaries, faces that Galadima said, you have foreigners that he couldn't identify. You are talking about Galadima, who has been in Nigerian politics over the years, who understands who is who in Nigerian politics. Galadima said, I have seen faces in Asarok. I don't know these people. They are strangers. They are foreigners. They have been imported by Mieti Allah. They have been imported by the Fulani cabals to run, of course, by Buhari family, to maintain that family, to maintain what they have started, to maintain the evil going on. And that is why Nigeria remains a shithole. And when President Trump said it is a shithole, it is actually a shithole. President Trump is a man of truth. Watch everything he says. just like Nnamdi Kanu. Nigeria is a shithole. Why is it a shithole? Because the people refuse to take responsibility. You have bunch of individuals just put together and they are living like animals. None of them is able to stand up and take responsibility, and they say they want democracy. Democracy doesn't just come. Democracy comes by the people standing up to take their right. That is what democracy is. So you don't have democracy when you don't have the people who are hungry to take their rights. For you to have democracy, the people must be hungry for their rights. It is that hunger that motivates you to stand up and ask for what belongs to you, because there are certain things that belongs to you that are in the hands of strangers. They have been stolen, and until you are willing to recover what have been stolen, you cannot have democracy. So democracy becomes the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. It is by the people, not by some selected few like you have selected in APC today and they have selected in PDP. In 2019, you are simply having two evil teams that have been selected.
That's if the election works.
Of course, that is their projection. That is what they are projecting, because you see, you have got people, individuals who are living just like imbeciles, because there's no kind of thing of that language to use to describe these people apart from the indigenous people of Biafra. Who else do you think that is speaking up? Where do you have you even in the Middle Belt, when you have the Fulani herdsmen killing and murdering thousands of people this year? Do you see that up until now they are not even saying anything? Even in the Yoruba land, of course, we know that they are conquered territory. You see that you don't see any revolution taking place. That is to describe and confirm to you that the evil that is in Nigeria has eaten so deep. And President Trump wondered and looked at what kind of place is this, what kind of people is this, and he concluded that this is what? A shithole, and that is the best that can be used to address the evil contraction called Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, when Donald Trump called Africa a shithole, he actually meant Nigeria. Of course, Nigeria is the giant of Africa, as he claimed. Giant of Africa, and of course representing the whole of Africa. That's why he boldly called it a shithole, and he never ended there. He never stopped there. He went as far as saying, I do not want to meet a lifeless man again. You know what it means? Of course, a lot of people have said it in one way or the other, telling Nigerians that they have an imposter there. Someone was imported to act as the president, and you see so many of them are ignorant, or maybe exhibiting nonchalant attitude over what is going on in Asarok. But we have come here to expose the evil. We must expose it. Very, very important. And someone might ask, why is IPOB trying to, you know, expose? You are talking about your freedom, so why are you talking about the man in Asarok? Are you trying to pave way for PDP? Are you trying to fight against APC? It's not. I think IPOB want to really know who they are dealing with, because a time will come for dialogue. A time will come when they say please go, and we will meet them face to face. Exactly. So we should know if we are dealing with Buhari or we are dealing with an impostor, because it's an insult for someone from Sudan coming to sit on a round table with indigenous people of Biafra.
You know, the day that the man in Asarok died is the day that, of course, the APC, that a lot of people raised their broom and said they were going to vote for APC, died also. And of course, from that day, the impostor didn't actually come alone. He came with his own team. And of course with his own team of expert killers. And that was why the killings in the Middle Belt continued unabated. The killings in the Middle Belt became so serious, and that maybe they would have reached an agreement that, see, your seat, these strangers that came, you should take the Middle Belt, because that the Fulanis had already taken the North. You know that, I'm sure that the Fulanis would have reached agreement with their brothers all over West Africa. Remember, the Mieti Allah said it when they were coming. They said they are going to bring their brothers from all over West Africa and all over the world, and they are coming because Nigeria is their heritage. So you see the evil going on there with indigenous people of Biafra. We didn't just start saying this thing today. We started saying it a long time ago. And of course our leader saw how deadly it has become. You know, he saw it long time ago while a lot of us were still sleeping. He's a prophet, the prophet of our time, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. We must keep talking, of course, give him that credit, because Chukwu Okike Abiyama raised him as our savior. He is the savior of our time, and he began to warn us ahead of time. And that is why a good number of us could now stand up and say, no, we have to ask for our right, we have to take it. And of course, if it means dying, that is why when we came to, of course, he told us that, see, as for killing, they will kill you. Because they are not just, freedom is not just given, freedom is taken. And of course, they have killed us. They have actually killed so many of us. They have killed thousands of the indigenous people of Biafra. There's nothing they have not done to the indigenous people of Biafra. So many of us were subjected to drink from mud water and die in the process. Some of our people were killed and dumped in forests, and their decaying bodies, their decomposed bodies were discovered a long period of time later on. And so many of them were killed and thrown into rivers. And there's no kind of death that we have not died. But we are asking for our rights, because there's no other alternative we have. We have no second chance. We have no second life. The only life we have is this one, and we have to save the next generation. We have to stand and defend the future generation. We have to take what belongs to us, because when we identify our rights in the hands of somebody else, we have to ask for it. What belongs to us is in the hands of strangers. That is why you look for food, you cannot find food. That is why you're hungry. That is why you cannot go to the hospital. That is why there are evils going on. That is why the ills in the society is growing, because all that is your right is in the hands of strangers. And that is why you are living as a slave. The life we live today is not even better than that of an animal, because this is an evil contraption called Nigeria. So the only way to save it, the only way to come out of it, is to say no. And that is what we are saying. So it's not all about voting or this or that. In 2019, yes, they say they want to vote. In the evil contraction, the rest of them say they want to vote. No problem. But we want to know who is the man in Asorok. Because if eventually you allow him to come back, these strangers, these impostors, certainly the way things are going, they have taken over INEC, they have taken over all the government, and of course they have taken over the military. They are everywhere, and certainly they come back in 2019. We want to actually know who is it that is going to negotiate with indigenous people of Biafra, because we must talk about our brothers in the north, we must talk about our people in the west, we must talk about those issues, because we must live as neighbors. In as much as Biafra is being restored, we also have to know that we have neighbors, and we need to be good neighbors. And it's very good we let them know, those of them that choose to belong to that shithole thing called Nigeria, that they should be aware that the man in Asorok is an impostor. It's not that they don't know, the political elites know it, but they submit themselves to be bought like chicken. Remember, Galadima said it. He said, see, that your political elites are going and they are submitting themselves to be bought like chicken. So your political elite, those you respect so much, most of them are, of course, professors. Most of them have can speak good English. They have powerful qualifications. And you see them, you respect them, you think that they are political elites. They are going there to submit themselves just like a lap of chicken. That is what they want. So your political elites, who are supposed to stand up for and speak for you, are not speaking for you. They are submitting themselves to these strangers from Sudan. They are submitting themselves from these strangers from all over West Africa, and they are part of the shithole thing. So this political elite, you think you are clapping for, you think that you are going to sponsor, you think that you are going to support for 2019, have submitted himself and herself, and they are being bought like chicken in Asorok. That is why the evil have continued. So in 2019, we, of course, the world have to understand what we are saying, that the thing in Asorok is not Buhari. And of course, when it comes to talking about the life of our brothers, our properties, and whatever that is left in that evil contraction 2019, it must be clear that we point it out from foundation that this man in Asorok is not Buhari. And that is why when we talk what we say, when we say things that we say it because we know, and because there is a time that is going to come for negotiation. And a lot of documents that have been signed, of course, ahead of time. You know, there are so many issues that they did in our name. They keep negotiating with the international community in our name. So those issues must be digged into. So a time is coming for it. But the best option is to talk about them now. Expose the man in Asorok. And that is why Mazen Nandekanu said it's a collective responsibility. We have to join hands together and, of course, unveil the man in Asorok. Let the world know what we are talking about. It's not just, yes, we want freedom, and that is not negotiable. The freedom for the indigenous people of Biafra is not negotiable. But to expose the man in Asorok also is still not negotiable, because it's part of what we are asking for. We are asking for freedom, and when we are asking for freedom, it must be complete freedom, total freedom. And, of course, we have to live with our neighbors as friends.
Thank you very much. In case you're just joining us, this is Sunrise Daily News Analysis on Biafra Television, and we are reaching you from Biafra land. I'm Ngozi Chukwuka, and I have Mazi Bright Oriako with me this morning, digging deep into the issues of the circumstances surrounding the man in Asorok. A lot of things are going on, and we need to know. You can imagine where the Senate President BUKOLA Saraki coming out to tell the world that the president will not participate in the 2019 presidential election, and without giving reasons, without telling the world his reasons. You don't just say, the president, I know he will not come out. What are your reasons? What do you know? Why are you trying to hide what you already know? You know, it's ridiculous. If the Senate president could hide such evil, then what is the fate of the people? That is why the people need to rise up. Of course, Master Bright have rightly said so. If the revolution refuses to start from there, then the people, the masses, the common man will have to stand up to their responsibility. They have to stand up to question the position of the man in Saraki, the man whom they elected, and say, you are going to be our leader. And today that man is no more. Someone else is there working in his place, and people just play nonchalant attitude. It's really ridiculous, and something needs to be done. That is why we, the indigenous people of Biafra, have stood up to our responsibility. We must keep exposing and unmasking the man in Saraki. Okay, during his visit to the NAS, when he went to present the 2018 budget, we heard a lot of people, we heard people calling him Paragu, lots of name callings. We also heard those of them singing freedom come by struggle. And I asked you last time, what freedom are they talking about when they have seen what is going on and refuse to speak up? So how do they think they can get their freedom?
Yes, when we fight, we tell our political elites that we are fighting for their freedom, because we know that they are all enslaved. You see those big politicians, you see them with big cars, you think they are free people. They are not. They are not free people. They too want freedom, and it is their freedom we are fighting. And you see, all the time we keep telling them, remember that when our political elite comes and they will tell you that this is what Saraki wants, they would announce things to you, and not because they are your people, not because they are speaking and they are part of what you are suffering. They are speaking exactly what Saraki wants, and they will come to announce to you. Remember, our leaders also said it before they attacked his home on 14 September, and one of the reasons why you see them killing everybody in his house, they came to him, and of course when they were telling him to abandon the struggle, forget it, we are going to, they said, our leader said, how is it that you come to me and all you just tell me is that this is what the Alhaji wants? If you just say it, it should be done, and not what's our mutual consent, not that we agreed, not because you respect we as a people. You don't have respect for us. You simply go to Alhaji, and Alhaji tells you, go and tell your people. Just the same way they were ruled by proclamation in the before the amalgamation. So they look at you as part of that system where they just go, Alhaji just tell you, go and tell your people this is what we want. And that is why you see they too, they need freedom, because they have actually seen what is obtainable at the international community. Remember that once you get at that level, there's a level in life you get to that you now realize what is happening in the world. A good number of them, of course, political elites, have realized that, see, this kind of politics in Nigeria is not as it is elsewhere in the world. It's not, and they have been hearing of democracy. They don't actually know what democracy is. They hear it and they think it means every 4 years you rig election and position some people there, and that is Nigerian version of democracy. No, that is not what democracy is. Democracy is any day the people are able to choose their leaders. That is the day democracy has been enthroned. Until the people are able to decide what their leaders do. Because you have impunity, you have this law of impunity where leaders decide for the people. That is not democracy. Until the people are able to decide what their people, and that is why watch the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. He said, I am not IPOB. I do the will of IPOB. Then who are IPOB? The indigenous people, the common man in the streets. And that is why in Biafra land, you don't do anything to hurt the traders. You don't do anything to hurt those farmers. We are fighting to protect the common man in the streets. Those are the people, indigenous people of Biafra. We, the indigenous people of Biafra, respect the last man, respect the last child in Biafra land. That is opposite what you have in Nigeria. In Nigeria, there you see politicians who are supposed to be there fighting for the common man are even enslaved. So they are also asking for their own freedom, because they know that what is there is another bondage. We are talking about colonization that took place in 1914, and of course post-colonization, and we are fighting to come out of it. But there's another colonization. You have a system where you have some missionaries have been imported to recolonize, and of course with a Sudanese leading them. So they too, they have discovered that they have found themselves in another cage. So it's not just the one that they were there before. There's another one coming. and before their very eyes, they have seen things, and now they know things that you don't know as a common man, and that is why you see them singing and fighting, and you see them only. That's to tell you the kind of power that they had. They actually don't have power. They only have power when they are coming to their village with their saris, their saris is enough, and of course the sand that is coming out of their wheels when their tire is rolling. That is all their strength. You see them driving with, of course, in those village rural roads, and of course they want to kill every animal, every chicken on the way. That is the power of a senator. That is the power of politicians in Abuja. But right there in Abuja, they are slaves. They are slaves in the hands of the Hausa Fulanis. They are slaves in today, no longer just the Hausa Fulanis. They are slaves in Hausa Fulani, Sudanese. So because you have a Sudanese at the helm of affair, and he has come with his brothers, he has come with other Fulanis all over West Africa. So they are there, and they are executive slaves. So they too, they want freedom, but they don't know how to come back and explain. So they too, they are asking for their own freedom because they are also in the same cage.
All right, thank you very much. During the presentation of the 2018 budget, President Muhammadu Buhari said something when he was being bowed by the people, by the lawmakers. He made a statement, and of course he said, behave yourself, the world is watching. We are on an international television, and I think that statement needs to be looked into. If he could if he realizes that they are on an international television, why has he not been able to address the people, address over 200 million people, telling them that the international community says they keep hearing people calling me an imposter, and it's good I address people on an international television.
One of the demands, the only pastor, the only bishop that spoke was Bishop David Oyedepo, and he said something. If the man in Saraki is Buhari, let him address the press.
Exactly.
He made it clear. If the man in Saraki, and that was, you see, that was the conclusion of the whole matter. That was the conclusion, because failure to do that meant he was not the man in Saraki. Buhari is not the man in Saraki. And Galadima made it clear also yesterday. He said, no, that I knew Muhammadu Buhari. I knew him. And of course, this one in Saraki is definitely not him.
Not General Buhari. Yeah.
So had it been he was the one, he would have, instead of going to telling them, see, please hide me a bit, because he felt that when he come to the National Assembly, because they are all conspired, whether you like it or not, all the politicians are all part of the conspiracy. If they are not part of the conspiracy, they would have spoken up. So he is simply telling them, see, watching the language, he's trying to look at them and say, you people are fooling yourselves, because you are part of the game. If they arrest me, they will arrest you too. That's what he's trying to tell them. He said, we are doing this game together. Why trying to expose me? Because you're also exposing yourself. He said, behave maturely. The international communities are watching. That was he carefully told them, because he knew that the same problem that he got himself into, they are also part of it, because they are all conspirators. They are doing the same deal, and of course they are there together. They are sharing the money together. So they are part of the system. They know what is happening. The elders in the land know why the waters are bitter. And now they know why food cannot be obtained. They know why Nigeria has been turned to the world of capital of country with extreme poverty. That is the evil contraction called Nigeria. They know why terrorism, Nigeria is leading in terrorism. They know why millions of people are dying. They know why the killers, herdsmen are there in the middle belt, and Boko Haram are taking over military formation. They know why these evil things are happening, and they are sharing money. So they are all conspirators. And he's simply telling them, see, don't think you'll be safe. Don't think by the time you expose me, you'll be safe. That is what he's telling them. That is to tell you how bold this man, the actor, is. He's simply telling them, see, I will indict you. Is that not what he's saying? Sure. That is simply what he's saying. He says, see, I will indict you because you all know the truth. So, you see, that is why you see them protecting him. That is why they speak with body eye language, and they felt they should keep quiet. You remember, after saying that, a good number of them kept quiet, because they are conspirators. They are all doing the business together. They have taken a portion of money. They have sold their destiny, like porridge, like Cain, who sold his own portion of who sold his birthright for a porridge. And of course, Galadima said they are selling themselves. They are being purchased like chicken. So he looked at them, see, don't be speaking, because chicken don't speak. You speak in a pot of soup. That is what it is. Say, you are in a soup. You are in a very hot pot of soup. That is it. So the man in Saraki is looking at their eyes because he has actually brought all of them in cage. And that is why they are crying came for freedom, because they are all in bondage.
All right, thank you. But don't you think it's hypocritical telling them that the world is watching? They are on international television when people were dying, and he doesn't say it that the international community is watching. When he was imported, he never felt the international community was watching. When unarmed protesters were being killed, when Fulani headsmen were killing, you know, when all the evil was going on, the president never came up to say the international community is watching, we need to stop this killing. And all of a sudden, when he was booed, he told them, please be matured, the international community is watching. I say it to be hypocritical.
Well, you need to ask, if it was Buhari would have felt concerned. But it's not his business, because Jubril, that is actually what he came to do.
So let's get it straight. If Buhari would have been concerned about what? About the killings of Biafrans?
Maybe, no, Buhari would have been concerned about the international community, about his image in the international community.
But even while he was there, unarmed protesters were being killed, and he never showed concern while he was alive.
He killed and he hit all of them. How many of them were taken to the international scene? So all the time that Biafrans were killed, one thing that Buhari succeeded in doing was kill and hide it. So Buhari is a master killer, and of course he would kill and conceal it. But you see this one in Saraki, you see, it doesn't really bother him.
And he always tell us, I don't know.
Yes, it doesn't really bother him. It's anytime they call him, the cabals that are placing there call him to go and address some people. And of course they protect him, they tell him never to face the press. They instruct him. Remember when he went to Benue State? Yeah. He was instructed to go to Benue State, but he never faced the press.
Yeah, the pressmen were sent out.
Yes, all the pressmen were sent out. So, you see, it doesn't bother him if millions of people are dying. That is actually what Jubril came to do. They told him, see, we are going to kill people. We are going for a war. Jihad, that is what it is. So he is the one leading the jihad. If you don't understand, that is what he actually came to do. So he doesn't feel concerned, he doesn't feel worried, it doesn't pain him, because he actually came to take food. What Jubril came to do is to take the food you have been eating. He wants to take meal from your table. He wants to take your bread and take it to his people in Sudan. After all, when the British came here, did they have mercy on you? Did they not take everything that we had? Did they not steal everything? Did they not even put us in serious bondage and handed us over to the Hausa Fulanis? So would Jubril, that have been hungry all his life, have mercy on you? No, they won't. They will kill you. That is actually what Jubril have come to do. So because it's not his business, he doesn't feel concerned. It's not his children, it's not his family. And of course, when you call Buhari, it doesn't touch him because it's not Buhari. So there's no amount of cry you will cry out that is going to touch Jubril, because he is not Buhari. The only thing that affects him is, yes, when you talk about exposing him to the international community. That is the only area that when you talk about it, he would look at you and look at you. You are a conspirator, you are part of the system, and I will expose you to. That's why you see him. The only concern he has is when the case is getting to the international community, because
but the case is all over already. It's all over the international community. A lot of people are talking about it, and you know, he actually went to Poland and told them, it is I'm not dead, it is Buhari, not Jubril.
That is where the real work is.
So he's already aware that the international community is watching.
Of course.
So why was he really concerned about that coming from the legislators?
That is where the real work is.
Okay.
His work is to make sure that whatever happens remains within. Okay. And his conspirators, those he conspired with, and
those who
have been doing it, have been protecting him and giving him that protection within. They told him nothing will happen. Okay. That is the confidence. Nothing will happen as long as you don't embarrass us to the international community. So he is careful, and of course, very, very careful. Watch those. Even when he said it in Poland, all the way in Poland, watch the table. Watch those who were in that table. How many of them were really men of the world? You see few individuals, and of course he came there and I don't know, organized a system, and he's telling you it's really me. Why didn't he go to US and say it? Why didn't he go to France and say it? He went to Poland. So, and he's not facing a real-time press, because they would have asked him questions, and he went and hid himself in a corner, one corner of the world, and saying it's really me. So he is actually trying to play. That is where his real work is. His real work is to make sure that the international community don't take full account of what is happening, and of course that he deceived the international community and make them feel his Buhari. So So when he have been accused, and of course that is why you see him going to the international community, and of course saying it is me, it's real me. So coming to Nigeria, he will tell them, see, this thing you are doing is not part of the deal. He's simply telling them that we had a deal that as long as I'm in Nigeria, I should be protected. So why are you now exposing me to the international community? That is why he was so careful, and he was concerned about what the House of Reps we are doing. He felt that these people are not failing in their own parts. You promised me that nothing will happen. Why is it that you're exposing your own self? So that was why you see him bothered about the international community.
All right, thank you very much. In case you're just joining us, this is Sunrise Daily News Analysis on Biafra Television. Now we are reaching you from Biafra land. All right, let's look at the next headline here we have from the Daily. Said federal lawmakers who booed Buhari are political imbeciles, coming from Munich. So I think you've come across it. Say those who booed Buhari are imbeciles, and I would like to read from what we have here. That's a press release. Sequel to the rowdy session of the joint session of the Nigerian Senate and the House of Representatives during the presentation of the 2019 budget by President Muhammadu Buhari, the Muslim rights concern Munich has accused the lawmakers of political imbecility. According to Ishaq Akintola, a professor, the director and founder of the human rights organization who signed the press release, the attitude of the lawmakers was infantile, pedestrian and ludicrous. Our lawmakers manifested articulated immaturity and exhibited pronounced desertification of parliamentary decorum. They desecrated the hallowed chamber. It was such a shame of a National Assembly. They descended to the lowest abyss of disgraceful conduct. It is now very clear that the 8th NAS is suffering from acute poverty or patriotism, a yawning lacume for dignity, and an irredeemable deficiency in righteousness. Before we go further, I think let's pick this place. He said, our lawmakers manifested articulated immaturity and exhibited pronounced desertification of parliamentary decorum. They desecrated the hallowed chamber. It was such a shame of a National Assembly. And talking about such a shame, was there ever a time these people had dignity?
You see, you need to understand the background they are coming from. You see, that act is, you see, that is going on in Saraki. It's not just about the Sudanese and about the Kabas. You see the Islamic system also. Remember, it's about the Islamization agenda. So when they are coming, they are simply telling them, see, this is pure politics, and that is the Islamic politics. And that is why you see that in all that has been happening in the United Nations, remember that they are always with the Muslims, have kept mute. Why people have been killed, and you see killings that have never taken place in war fronts are taking place in a place they call peaceful, democratic nation. And such killings are taking place, and the United Nations are not speaking up. It's because they are Muslims. So, and of course, you see also that the British government also today, you see them, of course, as a Muslim nation. So you see, all of them are doing the same work. They are all together. They are simply telling you that this thing is the Islamic politics. This is the Islamization agenda, and you need to understand it, because Nigeria is now an Islamic nation. Don't you see Sharia law is not running in the north? Don't you see Boko Haram freely taking over military formations and nothing is happening? Because they are really running out a program, the Islamic program, the Islamization agenda, life and real. And they are coming out to tell you that, see, the man in Saraki is our product. Why are you making a hell of noise? You are just an imbecile. So, you see, very clear language. And you remember that these people always come out with clear analysis of the situation. You know, the Muslim world, they analyze situations. They know what they want. You see, when you're talking about today's politics in the evil contraction called Nigeria, this Islamic group know what they want. And they have actually devised means. They have planned the way they want to get what they are doing. And that is why they have planned the 1804 jihad. They have planned the Islamization agenda. They have planned everything. And it's running clearly. And you see them going, taking it step by step. And today's politics, you see, it's about the government. And of course, you remember that they made it clear, the Mieti Allah have been speaking all the while Mieti Allah is speaking at a time, you see that the Islamic bodies, scholars will speak and tell you that, see, what is happening is our doing. and they tell you that you must support Buhari, and you must support that tyrant government, you must support that thing in Asorok. So because they are the ones pushing it, they are pushing it as their agenda, they are pushing it as their product and their program, and they don't believe in Atiku. They believe that Atiku is not even as hardened as that character called Buhari. The only name that can give them what they want is that name that they have tested over the years, that have continued, and they want to sustain. And that is why the only name they can use to sustain the Islamization agenda is that killer man called Buhari. The name General Muhammadu Buhari is known for something. It's known for tyranny. It's known for genocide. It's a genocide, and that is why when they are doing what they are doing, they have planned it and they have programmed it and they have positioned individuals, and that is why the position of the man in Asorok is something that you need to understand. It's coming from that angle, and that is why the Islamic world are not saying anything contrary to it. They are in support of it. They are running their program, and that is why anybody who doesn't understand it, they felt that yes, the lawmakers should understand that for you to be there, you have sworn to one Nigeria, meaning that you are an Islamic nation, you have sworn into Islamic nation, you have sworn into the killer squad, you have sworn into this conspiracy. So they felt that these people should naturally understand. And the same way the man in Asorok is telling them to be careful that the international community are watching, you see the Muslim world coming out to tell them that you people are simply imbeciles. You don't know that we just allow you to be there. So the Islamic world is simply telling you that the program that is running is their program. And because their Islamization agenda is live and real, all they want you, if you are not an imbecile, you should just allow you to continue. That's why they are calling the lawmakers imbeciles. And that is the only language. And if you look at it, are they really not acting as imbeciles? That is it. Because if they are not imbeciles, they would have behaved like human beings. They would have subjected the man in Asorok to a DNA test.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me continue from where we stopped. According to what we have here, that's a press release coming from them. Okay. Tobu and jeer during the presentation of an annual budget shows that our legislators are not interested in how Nigeria makes progress. This was an occasion when lawmakers are expected to show seriousness as the fate of the nation and its people for the next year was being reeled out. In Sana Climes, the elected representatives of the people manifest concern as the budget of their country is read. They eschew politicking and listen with rapt attention, but not Nigerian lawmakers of the 8th NAS. These are the same lawmakers who delayed 2018 budget for 7 months and refused to have anything to do with it until they had sliced off the juiciest portions onto themselves. Members of the House of Reps, is not depriving the lawmakers of their right to disagree with the executive, but no lawmaker worth the salt anywhere in the world will carry political disagreement to issues pertaining to the welfare of the citizens. The budget of a country reflects the fate of the people and their welfare, at least for that year, and sometimes impacts on their future. I think we'll stop here for now. Let's look at this statement talking about the welfare of the people.
When did they start caring about the welfare of the people?
Very important question.
Because you look at the budgets, previous ones, what did they do with them? The only thing that we could remember that they did with the last budget was importing sophisticated arms. They smuggled arms from everywhere they could find arms in the world. And that is why you see that the only thing that worked in Nigeria in the previous year was massive killing. The previous budget, the only thing they budgeted to do was how many people to be killed, how many bullets should be purchased, how many guns should be purchased, machine guns for that matter. And of course, all they have been going after have been weapons and weapons, begging the international community, begging any country, any world that manufacture weapons. Anywhere they manufacture weapon in Nigeria, in the world, Nigeria is running there to ask them for weapons. So when you talk about budget, talking about welfare of the people, is it actually they want to give the people food? Is it that they want to build infrastructure? No, that's not the answer. The answer is that they are looking for weapons to keep. They want money to buy more sophisticated weapons. The one they have been using since the past 1 year, it's like the bullets are running down. They want to have more powerful weapons, and that's what they are budgeting for. So they are not budgeting for anybody's welfare. They have never cared for anybody. And of course, in the after the previous budget, what it brought Nigeria was the world of capital of extreme poverty. So where is the evidence that they are looking for the welfare of the people? Even when people are dying, do they really care for the people? So it's not that they care for the people. It's just that they are looking looking for a budget, they're looking for money, and of course very soon they will tell you that new girls have been kidnapped, and of course they will use them, negotiate, and there will be a ransom, and they will use it to purchase new arms. That is it, to continue killing the innocent.
All right, thank you very much. And the last one we are going to be looking at right now, very important information for Nigerians. So Nigerians, the political decor you have in office as the president won't vote in your presidential election slated for February 2019. This is because his fingerprint differs from that of the original Buhari. If the evil cabal finally make him vote as a result of this expose, demand from your electoral body INEC for the fingerprint of late Buhari, who voted in 2015 polls, but be rest assured they won't make it available. Former British MP Eric Joyce speaks again.
That is it. And our leader said it in the last broadcast, that see, the man in Saraki would not vote, because this time around, you know, he has been stopped from waving his hands. And to go to an extent of going to vote, that would be granting a complete evidence, and for that reason he will not do that. So the man in Saraki will not vote in 2019. That is how serious it is, because he is not Buhari. The fingerprint will simply indict him, and for that reason there's no reason. The same way he will not attend the 2019 presidential debate, the same way also he will not vote. So because you have an impostor, because an impostor will not vote. He will not vote because Buhari is dead and gone. That is simply a clear evidence, one of the best. And of course, these things, when they are being said, you watch them. You watch them, and people that have been watching, these are how people get to know the truth. Because all the while we have been saying it, and so many people thought we are just joking. But watch, since our leader said that this man will never wave his hand again. He has never waved his hand again, because the fingerprints, the lines in his hand are not the same as Buhari. And of course, you know that the fingerprints are just like your signature. You don't have double. One person, and once a man dies, his own dies. A new person is coming with a different person. That's why Jubril from Sudan doesn't have the same fingerprints as Buhari. Remember that the rodents destroyed this in Saraki. Why? Because the same fingerprint was needed to open the office, and of course there were so many documents that were in that office, but because this man cannot access it, that's why it has to go. So voting in 2019 is something that will never happen. Of course, the man in Saraki will not vote, and if the man in Saraki, Buhari, didn't vote, you are going to be a fool, because for you to win in an election, you will vote and be voted for. And of course, you are simply getting it clear that the man in Saraki is not going to be voting. So you as a fool will go and vote, because you are the biggest fool in the world.
All right, thank you very much. And this moment we will be going on a break, and while we return, our lines will be open. We urge you to stay tuned, and of course call us to make your own contribution. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Sunrise Daily News Analysis on Biafra Television, and our lines are open. You call in to make your contribution. Call. Let's know your own take. What is going on in the contraption called Nigeria? Of course, the impostor keeps, will keep unmasking him. Will keep exposing him to the world, and he already knows, and that's why he said to the legislators, say, please behave. Be matured. The world is watching us. We are on an international television, and I ask, what is he still hiding from the world? Is there a thing he thinks that the world does not know about him again? It's really laughable.
He knows the world are aware of what he's doing, and of course, all he thinks is that maybe the world will think that he has been removed from Saraki. So he is simply trying to hide so that the world doesn't know that he's still there. Because it takes only a shithole country to have an impostor that has been exposed to the world and is still sitting comfortably. And they said nothing will happen, and eventually nothing happens. He's sitting there, and likely we'll see there till 2019. That is the biggest shock of my life. That is the biggest shock, because it has never happened anywhere in the world, and it's happening in a shithole country. And of course, because they are glittering eyes and shiny teeth, it has happened and nothing will happen, because they are untouchable.
All right, we have a call on the phone. Yes, good morning. Welcome to the program.
My name remains Masi Ifanyeze in Biafra from Abakaliki province. I appreciate you people this morning on how you people tackle the issue of Jubilee and his appearance on the platform of Senate or the joint chamber of the National Assembly the other day. He was messed up. He was nothing to write about, because they make him look like a fool, which he is. I want to tell the whole world that Biafra has come to stay. Kanu'nigeria has opened up everything to the world for them to see that Nigeria is a mess up. Today, we have been hearing a lot of other things that is coming up. Like what this man from Arewa land said, Engineer Buba Galadima, he confirmed that the man in Saraki is not Buhari. For him to have been saying may or may not be Jubilee is out of context, because the man himself is not is just trying to show the backside of it. You should have gone on to tell the world that the man is Jubilee, because he is Jubilee. Because Kanu'nigeria, I know definitely that Kanu'nigeria knows exactly what he's saying. For him to maintain that the man in Saraki is a Jubilee Sudani, that's exactly who the man is, not what this man is saying, that he may or may not be Jubilee from Sudan. If he is not Jubilee from Sudan, who is him? Who is the man there? Kanu'nigeria said that the man there is not Buhari. Buhari died January 2017, and knowing fully what is going on now, the man is Jubilee. Now, another confirmation is that the Senate President has come up to tell us that the man, the Jubilee of the man, cannot subject himself to presidential debate, which the most lying machine, Lai Mohammed, has confirmed that the man will be traveling to London for medical treatment by the time of that presidential debate, January 19th. That is all rubbish. In as much as the man, this man from London, Eric, he said that the man, Jubilee, cannot vote, and nobody will vote him, because if he did not vote for himself, who is going to vote for him? Therefore, all these are trash. All we want is Biafra. And by his grace, we are letting the whole world know that today, Kanu'nigeria Amadiki, one of Biafra land, Oyinato Nigeria and Kembo Nwanile, will be broadcasting live from Israel, the most holy land, Israel. Today, by 6 o'clock, we are about to go to our holy place to hallow the Creator Yahweh today. Shalom, Umuchineke. ndị obodo anyị ana m ekele unu ndị Ngwulija ana m asị ndị agmechi unu ga-eso onye ọbụla nwere redio onye agbape eme ọkụ elekere nya isii anọ agmechi zone onwe ọrụ nwa agụma urevene ndị agmọka onye ọbụla gbagọta leta anụ bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ga-epunyere anyị na udukogidasị na onye na-achị Naijiria taa bụ onye sheshido anyị bụ onye si from Sudan ibe anyị na-ekwu na anyị bụ Biafra ibe Naijiria gbasara anyị ihe elekshọn bụ anyị atụgharị ọzọ ibe anyị chọpụta na ọsọ anyị Biafra ka anyị nwere onwe anyị ekonwe anyị ga-azụ ekwe onye nweta ọrụ ekonwe anyị ka anyị ga-atụkpọ onye nzọ anyị eri ọzọ anyị le ọzọ anyị jiri hụ anyị rụọ ọrụ anyị epiche nye na-abọrọ ọrụ adịghị nwata nwa pe anyị na-achị onye ọbụla onye ahụ jishi ike dee ihe ka dịba ile ịzọ Biafra maka ọkeb ka anyị ga-emenwu anyị na-ekele ndị ọbụla che yiri ka azọ Biafra nwere onwe ha ma the African rap Maazị George Onyebe anyị na-ekele we thank you, we appreciate your all efforts, we appreciate our Deputy Director Maazị Uchemefo, we appreciate Maazị Oriakụ. Your people have been doing well. My sister Ngozi, may Almighty Yah will continue to bless you and give you understanding on how to pilot this same program that I've been piloting. I appreciate you, my sister. My name is Maazị Ifeanyi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Maazị Ifeanyi. We have another caller there on the phone. Hello. Caller on the phone, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, good morning. What's the name you are calling from?
Hello?
Hello, we can't hear you. Call on the phone, hello. Alright, we lost the call. Please, before you call on this platform, ensure you turn down the volume of your listening device. And of course, when your call is taken, you wait a while and hear us talk to you before you go ahead. Please, it's very important so that we can have an effective communication. Okay, so we were talking about the man in Asarok, and of course BUKOLA Saraki, the senior president, says he's not going to attend the debate. Okay, hello, call on the phone.
Hello, good morning. Hello?
Thank you very much. Good morning from here. What's the name you are calling from?
Hello, please, are you hearing me?
We can hear you. Please go ahead. I think you're listening to your device.
Okay, good morning, Ngozi Maazị Bright Uriah.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. Nasi. I am calling you from my home, Germany.
You're welcome.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead. We can hear you, please. Too bad, we lost the call. You try and call back, but I think you're not listening to your device, and it's poor. It's really bad. When you call again, please ensure you turn down the volume of your listening device. Concentrate more on the call so that you will hear when I speak to you. Hello, call on the phone.
I want to thank you, and I want to thank our Supreme Leader, Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. I want to thank him so much, and I pray that God will protect him and save him from the enemy. In the name of okeke'war'africa, we pray.
Okay.
I want to comment on the Mande Jibril, Jibril of Sudan. You know, what is disturbing the people there in Nigeria, I would say, is hunger. Because it's only when someone speaks, and then the person will be able to speak very well. But that does not mean that they should not.
Oh, sorry about that. We lost the call again. We are very sorry. You have to call back. I think that's a network issue. That's what you get here. Hello, call on the phone. Okay, we lost the call once again. I think the epileptic network of this contraption called Nigeria is really frustrating. but we must go through. That's why we try to make things work. That's why we try to get our freedom, because nothing works in this contraption. Absolutely nothing. Biafra must be restored to fix things and to put things in place. We are sorry about that. Okay, so going back to our discussion.
Yes, of course. Things cannot work when you don't have the government of the people. Because until you know what the people want, what the people really need, because every society there is need, the fundamental needs in every land, and it takes the people to enthrone the government that will provide those needs. So you don't have a government in the first place, and of course that is why we are fighting to have one. That is why the indigenous people of Biafra today are the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And that is why we are, of course, soliciting to the international community to give us all the rights, because we are responsible members of the international community. All that belongs to us, we must be allowed to, of course, exercise our fundamental human rights, and of course give us our necessary recognition anywhere in the world, because we have come to save ourselves. We don't depend on this evil contraction called Nigeria.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Call on the phone. Good morning. Sorry about that once again. Please, the last caller I was hearing the sound from your television or your device, whatever. Please, before you call, ensure you turn it down or you put it off totally. Put it off totally. Very, very important. We are sorry for the network issues, and we have another caller there on the phone. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's the area you're calling from? Oh goodness me, this is really bad, really bad. Please, before you call, ensure you turn down the volume of your listening device. Okay, this moment we'll be going on a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Sunrise Daily News Analysis on Biafra Television, where we expose the lies. We'll have a caller on the phone. Hello. Okay, we lost that caller. I think we're having a network issue here. There could be a problem somewhere, because the calls are dropping incessantly, and I think something needs to be done about it. We are sorry. Just try to call again. Hello, call on the phone.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning from here.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Madam Gozi and Mazi Bright. May Chukwu bless you people.
Bless you too.
My name is Anna Ayo Alamoke. I hail from Ngopala in Owerri province, but I'm calling from China. I want to appreciate God and also appreciate every IPOB member, especially our spring leader and the IPOB leadership. I say may Chukwu guide them and continue to guide and protect them wherever they are. And every IPOB member who is working assiduously to restore Biafra. May Chukwu guide them and bless all their families in the name of Yahweh. I'm listening to the topic of this morning. My take on it is that Nigerians as a whole, I don't know, maybe they are very okay with the system. They are very okay with the system of democracy in Nigeria. Because if they are not okay with it, they would have rise up. They will not wait for the legislators. They will not wait for the honorable men and women, because they are together. Both the Senate, both the House of Representatives and the Executive, all of them are in the same category. So if Nigerian public, if the system is not comfortable with them, they should have rising up and they challenge them, even if it costs their life. If it costs their life, it will be on record that they have risen for one to say no for this thing, for the atrocities. Because I could remember, though I have not voted in Nigeria, but I watched events of food. I think when I was in Aba, when it's on record, when all just Okalo consulted the election, it's either Prince Vincent Ogunafo or Chief Vincent Ogunafo or Adolphus Nwaba. One of these two men challenged him on the poll, and we know the results. This man won him, that based on Nigerian system, they declared Jesus Okalo the winner of the election. After that, what happened? It's okay with the people. Nobody stand up, and we know that the people are behind the opposition of all Jesus Okalo. We all know that. But nobody stand up. Nobody say no. This is who we elect. This is who we vote. But everybody went to his or her bed, clapping hands, cheering them up. So that is the example of what is happening in Nigeria. No time the national, even one single person in National Assembly has moved in emotion to say this no. Let him or her move and let the people watch other house to bully him or her to say no. Then the people will know who is against them and who is not against them. Those people are just there for their own selfish interests. They are just there to receive their salary, and that money meant for their constituents, they want to pocket it because they know that maybe they are on loan. They borrowed money to sponsor their election to get selected, and they don't have any man, any single person in mind in that office. So that is the reason why Saraki is not giving the confidence to say what he wants to say. I don't know what he's waiting. So my conclusion this morning is that let Nigerian masses rise to let them carry their cross, because it's their own cross. I could remember in Egypt when Morsi is the president, it's not okay with the people of Egypt. They rise up against Morsi. Before they chase him out, before this man that is ruling them now take up the power. So I don't know, the Nigerian masses, they should know what they are to do. I thank God for IPOB. In fact, this is one of the reasons why I joined IPOB. Apart from standing for my brothers and sisters who were killed, one of the main reasons I joined IPOB is because they are not ascribed to Nigerian politics. So I thank God for them. I thank God for Biafrans. We all are going on, no election in Biafra land. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. We'll have another caller there on the phone. Hello, caller on the phone.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, my name is Prophet Vincent Congo, calling from Abakaliki province, Biafra land.
You're welcome. Go on.
Thank you. Thank you, Mazingozi. Bright. I thank you all for this good work you're doing for the Biafrans.
Thank you very much.
It is a thing of beauty, which is a joy forever. The great leader, kanu'nigeria, has done well for we, the Biafrans. And all we are doing now is just to follow him and do whatever he has given us order to do. We are ready to boycott anything about election. And any pastor or reverend father, priest, whoever you are, as a Biafran, who refuse to preach the liberation of the Biafran, the liberation of his people, that person is a fake. Only those who are preaching for the liberation of the Biafrans, for the freedom of Biafrans, are the true pastor or priest or whatever. Because somebody like Mazi there is a true pastor. You yourself in the studio there, you are a true pastor. Ike Peter is a true pastor. Then all the political officers of the IPOB, the leadership of IPOB, those are the real men of God, men and women of God. So I challenge the Biafrans, no matter your profession, to move ahead to boycott anything about Nigeria election, for we are not Nigeria. And we are waiting this evening to hear from our great leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I thank you.